it's Lorenzo. So today's quick little tutorial is to take a few cuttings from my pothos plant. That's basically just your ivy that you have in your home, in your living room or in your bedroom, and you hang from the ceiling, and they are really easy to grow. I've had many over the years, and well, anyways, this one had a lot of stringy vines off of it, and so I thought, well, let's repot this into a couple of pots. I could put them around my house or give some away to family and friends or put them in my office. So anyways, I have one clipping here, and then I have the major clipping back here. I don't know if you can see that. I'm kind of dangling it in the background. So what I'm going to do is show you how to replant this cutting into a pot. All you really need is some potting soil. I'm going to remove this clipping out of the way. All you need is some standard potting soil, a nice pot. I had this decorative pot on my patio. It really wasn't doing any good just sitting there, so I thought, well, let me put this cutting in there. I have a spray bottle with water. I find that when I replant something, I don't like to splash water and disrupt all the soil that I neatly put together so the roots can grow. So I just spray it, you know, for the first week or so until the roots grab hold, and that pretty much covers it. I also happen to have some root hormone. You really don't need it, some rooting compound, but I just happen to have it here, and you know, when in Rome, use it, right? So the first step is to obviously fill your pot with your potting soil. You can put all these other materials aside. I'm just going to scoot this back just a little bit. So on this cutting here, I'll just illustrate what we're trying to do. You want to at least take a clipping somewhere where you have at least 2 leaves on a vine. So this is a perfect part right here because I've got a couple of leaves. You can actually see that on these pothos plants, the roots they already have aerial roots, so it's really easy to take root for these things. You just got to make sure that you give it a few roots to be able to grab hold of and give it some sort of anchor. So actually for this first one, I'm going to cut it right here. You can see there's some roots in there. So I'm just going to cut this clipping right here. And now I have a nice little clipping or cutting here that I'm ready to plant. I've got the main roots. There's one right here, if I can get that in camera, one right here. There's another here, another here, and here. So I'm just going to get this tip a little bit wet in my sink. And if you happen to have rooting hormone or rooting compound, just dip a little bit of the area with the roots in the compound and give it a little shake just to get the excess off. And in your pot, just kind of make like a little canal in the direction that you want the plant to grow. So in this case, I'm just going to kind of dig a little trench here with my finger. Stick this whole portion with the roots as much as I can in the soil. And then just cover it up. Give it plenty of room to grow, and I kind of want this one to grow off of the side. And since it's already growing in that general direction, I'm going to keep it that way. A lot of the leaves are growing in an upward or sideways display, and that's because I've had this in the window on a hanging pot, and I don't know how I can get that in focus there, but there we go. But anyways, that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to accomplish it by planting in the same direction that it's already comfortable and growing. So you can see here's the other part of the vine. And you can see all these different roots, and if you have one of these at home, just take a look at one of your vines that's hanging off your plant, and you'll see plenty of roots there. So let's do that again. Sorry if the camera kind of goes out of whack here. So I want to actually plant them to where I have 3 kind of going in opposite directions, and if I can find one that is pretty stable and straight, I'll put that one straight up so I can have some growth in the middle. So again, I'm looking for the root. So there's one here. I already have us cutting. This is an old cutting. I'm just going to chop that off. I have some roots here. And I've got a couple of leaves on that. But you know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it right here. I think this would make a good center vine for my plant. I'm going to cut off this bottom leaf right here, just because it's got the root there, and I want to stick the whole thing in the soil. So I'm gonna put that one aside, and that one will be the last clipping that I put. And you know what? I may just end up putting two. So let's see how this one works. It's kind of bendy, as you can see. So the natural flow is to want to go this way. So I'm going to actually remove this leaf down here. And maybe actually this one too. So now I have a pretty clean little root section here. I'm going to plant it in the soil with the roots facing down. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wet these roots here real quick, put them in some water. I'm going to dip it a little bit in the rooting compound, as you can see here. And remember, if you don't have this, that's okay. They sell it everywhere. It's pretty cheap, a couple bucks. You can see there's the rooting compound. It's just on part of the stem. I'm going to dig that little trench like I did before. And then I'm going to stick this in the pot as best I can. You know what? This one may actually have to go this way so I can get that nice full circular motion to it. Okay, this one doesn't want to cooperate. It wants to go this way, which is fine. You just get it in there, cover all the stem and the roots, and you're pretty much good to go on that. I did have this one little piece here that was pretty straight, so I'm just going to dip a little, get it wet really quick, dip a little bit of that in the hormone. And I'm just going to, with my finger, just kind of make a hole straight up and down. Put this in there. And then just backfill the hole. And there you go. So I just basically repotted a couple of cuttings or clippings from my pothos plant. You can see it looks pretty good. Everything is pretty stable in there. I have a nice full little arrangement going. Make sure you just give it a little spray down with your spray bottle, or you can just take it to the sink and just do that. I'm a big fan of being a little bit more delicate with watering, at least on the first few waters while the potting soil settles. So I just use a spray bottle. It's the easiest thing to do, and I just make sure that the soil is moist. I don't want it sopping wet, which I don't think it'll matter, especially since you're trying to get the roots to take hold. But I like to keep it just nice and moist, so I'll give it a good water down, and I'll let it be, and then tomorrow I'll probably water it again. I'm going to put this, I have a grow space with south-facing window. I'm going to put it in the light there, and I think in a few weeks we should have a nice plant starting to grow, and it should really take root pretty quick. I'll do a little update on this. Like I told you earlier, I actually did another one in this nice other pot. So that's his brother. I have this pot. These are kind of cool pots. I got these pots on my last visit to South Texas. I'm here in San Antonio now, but it's where I live. But I went to go see family and friends down in South Texas on the coast. And we have access to some really cool terracotta pots. These are all glazed. You buy them on the side of the road. They have all the Mexican pottery and everywhere. So I literally get these cool pots for just a couple of bucks. I think each of these were $5 a piece. So next time I take a trip down there, I'm going to grab some more. I think I'm going to start planting my orchids in these as well. They're much better than what you can get in the other stores here, and they're very decorative, and and cheap most of all. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. If you want to see more videos, leave a comment below. And until next time, happy growing!